whenever we do your team building exercises,
The ones that I create for you guys? Yeah.
yes, they're interesting. We get into it. I mean, sometimes we don't always agree.
Uh-huh.
It gets a little wild in there. When Stefano says, "No, guys, we don't need to use our one of our questions when we've spent 10 out
Oh,
of our
your
20
hit.
out of our
Yes.
10 of our 20 minutes given on the first question. No, guys, don't use one of our multiple hints."
Yeah, we were doing like an
Stefano.
escape room. They had 3 hints. They'd already wasted half their time on the first question.
Stefano
them are
was
like-
arguing with all of us not to use one of our multiple hints.
And
we
all of
had.
them were like, let's just use one of the hints that we have. And Stefano goes, no. Like he was
We're
the
waiting
only
it
We
one.
can
out.
do it.
He's like, just give us one more minute.
We're
Yeah,
too far in.
He said, let's just give it one more minute before we decide to use it. And then they wasted a minute arguing.
The
and
whole
then-
minute we spent, Stefano, use the hint. Stefano, hint.
Oh, that was so good.
He's strong about his beliefs. I'll give him
He
that.
is.
That's
Even in the face of all of his peers, when he is the lone
Passionate.
wolf, he is not swaying, which you gotta give it to him. Well, anyway, welcome back everybody to the Impact Students podcast.
We are your hosts, Abby.
And Julia.
And today we're joined with one of our awesome student leaders, Tevin Lavin.
Hey, Tev. It's so good to see you. Tevin, since this is your first time on the podcast, we thought it would be great if you let them know a little bit more about you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name's Tevin. This is my first year on the student leadership team. I'm in 11th grade. And a fun fact about me is I think I'm currently the only student to have a game banned from youth group.
This is correct. This is correct. Yes, Tevin did in fact get a game banned from youth group, and that is a story for another time.
That's right. We're excited to have you on the team this year, Tev. If you watched last season, you would have seen Trevor, which is Tevin's older brother.
Woohoo! Shout
And now
out.
Tevin is taking up the mantle of being on the student leadership team, which is awesome. Well, Tev, we want to ask you some fun ones before we dive into the more hard-hitting stuff. So I want to know if you have one hot take that would start maybe a debate within the student ministry, what would it be?
The movie's getting a little older. It's about 10 years old now. I think there was debate back then when it came out, but in Captain America's Civil War, Captain America's team was right.
Oh,
I just like to point that
interesting.
out.
You're a big Marvel guy, so I'm
Yeah.
not shocked.
I'm a
that
big
it's got something to do
superhero
with
guy.
That was such
Marvel,
a
DC.
throwback opinion.
It's 10 years old now, and that's crazy to me.
this. He's still thinking about it.
He was right the whole time, and everybody should have known about it.
He's been
Wow,
waiting
it's-
for his opportunity to talk about it. I can feel it.
Yeah. Why don't you give us even more? Like, why do you think he was right?
I would say he's more correct because in the second one, their most high government is infiltrated by Hydra for decades. So
Mhm.
I don't think it's the best idea to have the government run the Avengers.
I think that's fair, honestly.
I think that's a fair
Like-
take too.
I mean, at the end of the movie, they had senators in the government working for Hydra. So just having the governments run the Avengers. And when Steve said, "What if they won't let us go somewhere where we need to go, or they send us somewhere where we shouldn't be?"
Yeah. So, such a good point. It almost makes my next question feel weirdly out of topic, but it's a good question still anyway. Because Tevin, one cool thing about you too is that you have a call to preach. And so I wanted to ask, as a little icebreaker, if you had to preach one sermon on any topic, with basically no notes or prep, you just had to go in and start talking, what would you be preaching about?
I would have to go with love. I can talk about that one for a while.
Mhm.
When I was writing that one was the easiest to write because everything came to mind so quick.
Yeah. Because there's so much to draw from
Yes.
and so much you've learned.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're good at talking about that too.
Oh,
You're a
yeah.
loving guy. All right, Tev, let's dive into questions about your time on the team, about what
Yay.
it's been like for you. So, this is your first year on the student leadership team. When you first joined the team, what were you hoping that it was going to be like?
I was looking for the opportunity to just grow my leadership abilities because I do feel that call to ministry, and a big part of that is being a leader.
Yeah,
So I was hoping to grow that and, just getting to work with others as well.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And what is something about serving on the leadership team that's been maybe harder than you expected and kind of pushed you to grow?
Back to the working with others. working with others sometimes when they don't agree with you about very obvious things to do, it can be frustrating. But I mean, as a team, I think we're getting better at that, working
Mhm.
together.
Yeah. Well, and how has the leadership team pushed you outside of your comfort zone?
I'd say a big thing that pushes me outside of my comfort zone is our how we got to talk to newer people, people that we don't usually talk to. I mean, if you introduce me to somebody, I will talk to them forever.
Mm-hmm.
But going out and talking to somebody on my own,
Yeah.
I got to work
That's
on
been kind
that.
of a theme thus far in the
Yeah,
answers
your
from you
bestie
guys.
Meridia said the same thing. Oh, didn't you? Are you saying like, yeah, yeah, she's your bestie, right?
Yeah, she's a good friend. We're accountability buddies.
Yeah, your
We're
accountability buddy.
Yeah,
reading the whole
sorry, not the
Bible
same thing as
in
best friends.
in a
Accountability
year.
buddies. Yeah, yeah. Um, well, hey, thinking too about even beyond how leadership has kind of stretched you and grown you as a person, like how has it impacted your relationship with Jesus?
I would say it makes it stronger because I get to live out the commands he gave us by serving in our student ministry. And also, since we do that accountability partner stuff, I read my Bible a lot more,
Right.
like daily.
Yeah.
So I'm more in the word and closer.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then how has, since you've been serving on the team this year, how do you think that your understanding of serving like Jesus has changed since being on the team?
Um, oh, that was the hardest question for me to answer out of it.
Oh, really?
No, that was the ones I paused for like 15 minutes.
It's a good
Some
question.
of them make you think.
I mean, I've always kind of known like the serve others and like it's always about being humble and serving those beneath you and all throughout that. I mean, I've served a lot throughout the years, so I mean, I always just love that I get to serve and get to do that, and I always love with opportunities.
Yeah. I love that your mindset is I get to serve.
Yeah.
'Cause it's true. That's what it is. Like Jesus didn't come to serve, but wait, to be served. Jesus
yeah, there you
didn't
go.
come to be served, but to serve. And it's that we get the opportunity to serve and love people like Jesus. And that's an honor. It's not like something that we have to do. We get to do it. It's really awesome. I love that that's your mindset, Tev.
Yeah, and even going along with that, like when you hear Jesus talking about how the greatest among you should be the least and should serve others, like and should be the servant of all. What do you think he really meant when he was saying that to his disciples?
I think he meant like being great doesn't mean like lifting yourself up and trying to be like this, making everybody look up to you. Being great is like going down and helping the people around you.
Mm.
It's good. I think sometimes when we are growing in spiritual maturity and we're growing in our walk with Christ, we understand what these concepts mean more and more, right? As we're applying them to our lives and diving into that with Jesus of like, what did you mean when you meant that the greatest should be least and that I should serve everybody above me, beneath me, my enemies, that I should love them? You know what I mean? So, do you think that spiritual maturity and leadership always go together? And why or why not?
I think spiritual maturity and leadership, like, I think if you're spiritually mature, you're gonna be a leader. Maybe not like a big leader, but you lead in some way. I think if you're spiritually mature, you'll be a better leader.
Mm.
I think you can be a decent leader with not being spiritually mature or Christian, but you won't have that like serving leader. You'll be more like
Yeah.
a different one, yeah.
Interesting. And sometimes the more that we grow spiritually, the more we grow in leadership. Sometimes the more that we're put in leadership opportunities, it pushes us to grow spiritually. So they can go hand in hand.
Yeah. And you have served in a lot of different ways. But
It's true.
how or what is something that God has been teaching you in this last year of serving and leading on the student leadership team?
I think something that I've been learning about leadership, like to do better, is like connecting more with people and just like reaching out with them, hanging out with them, getting to know them better.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you serve like in a lot of capacities here at this church. You serve on the student leadership team, you serve in kids, you serve also like not just in preschool, which is where you usually serve, but you're also on my kids worship team. You lead kids in worship. And
And you serve at events
yeah,
and help set
you
up for
do
stuff.
so many
all the
things,
time.
Tev. And you've served for a long time too, like since you were young. So if a younger student came to you and asked you, why should I serve? What would you tell them?
It's just such a great opportunity to get to meet people and serve God and His kingdom. And I personally really enjoy it. And I think anybody who took the time to serve will find out that it's not like, oh, I got to go do this or I got to go do that. It's that back to I get to go do this.
Yeah.
I get to go do that.
Yeah. I love your heart for serving, Tev. It's very evident in how you live your life and how you are towards others. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. And as you look forward to living out your call to ministry that God has placed on your life, which maybe we can pause for a second here before I ask my question. You tell us a little bit more about your call. Like I've heard, but tell us a little bit more about your call to ministry and like what that looks like.
So I've had it for I'd say a few years now. It's just a passion inside of me to go and do that. It's something I enjoy doing. And I mean, sometimes I do get nervous about it because I do have stage fright. If you watch me speak, when I go up, I do struggle with looking at the crowd. And if you look down at my legs, whenever I speak, they are slightly shaking.
You still, even still, like, there's so many different speakers out there. You have such good content
Yeah.
when you preach. I think I've told you this before. Like the
Really is
quality of
great.
what you're talking about is so good to hear
Mhm.
that it's like, who cares if your legs are shaking because what you're saying is so important.
Mhm.
But as you look forward to being whatever it is that God's calling you to, preacher, pastor, missionary, etc., what kind of leader do you really hope to be in the future?
I would say just somebody that people can look at and think, wow, he really loves God, and they can like kind of like how iron sharpens iron, like I'll rub off on them and they'll like have a deeper love for God as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Tev, we've gotten to watch you grow over all these years. And we've been at this church for a while. And as long as I've been here, you've been here. And I've gotten to watch you grow up and grow in leadership. And this year, especially, like as you're leading on the team, I've got to see you grow in your leadership qualities. But I kind of want to know if you could go back to that first day that you started on the team and give yourself like first day advice. What would you say to yourself?
Um, I would say definitely it's something I'm really big about is connecting with other people. I've said it a couple times in this, but I mean, it's something that I really need to do better on, and I think it's really important that I connect with other people in my youth group.
Yeah. So just push yourself to reach out. Keep trying, even
Yes.
if it's outside of your comfort zone.
Yes.
We've seen you grow there. I think you're doing a great job at it.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
very relational, which is really an awesome quality as a person. And also, as you keep pursuing your call, that you're a very relational person.
And one more piece of advice I give myself is on the day that we play that exercise game, I tell myself, before that game, you're going to give Stefano a rundown that we're going to use the hints.
Talk to
You're gonna tell
Stefano
him we
in
are using
advance.
the
I won't
hints.
give him the answers to the questions, but I'll tell him we're using the hints.
You're using those hints.
When that day comes, I need you to pressure Stefano.
Yeah. Well, what would you say? We kind of talked about like what advice would you give or what would you say to someone who is asking about serving, but what would you say to someone? We have students in our youth group now who we've talked about as a team, like, oh, I think these students would be great for the student leadership team. We're kind of starting to pour into them and stuff like that. But what would you say to a student who came to you and was like, I'm thinking about serving on the team, but I don't feel like I'm spiritual enough, or I don't feel like I'm good enough to be on the student leadership team?
I would say that's what a lot of characters in the Bible said.
Ooh,
That's good.
And
bars.
it turns out they were good enough because
Yeah.
God was good enough. So I would just say that I think the leadership
Preacher.
team will help you get better at that. And I think everybody on the leadership team would be delighted to help you with that. So I really think we could grow you into somebody who's what you think you aren't.
Genuinely spitting bars.
That's a
there.
pastor right there.
So good.
That's awesome, Tev. Well, how do you think you'd want your leadership to impact somebody else spiritually?
I would say I would want my leadership to rub off on them spiritually by just them like looking at all the stuff I do and just being like, wow. I mean, like we can see that Tevin's very spiritual, that he takes his Bible stuff seriously, that he takes his call seriously. So I want to take those things seriously, so people will see and again, iron sharpen iron and just rub off on them.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we talk so much about how a big part of leadership is being an example to other people. And, Joey always loves to say, like, you could be the only Bible that someone ever reads. And so the way that you live your life and the way that you lead is really what people are going to follow. And the way that you pursue God is how other people behind you are going to pursue God. I think that's great that that's what you envision for yourself as a leader.
I think so too. I think, Tev, you exemplify so well this thing that I love to live by and I think about a lot is people don't care what you know until they know that you care.
Mm.
And you care so well for people. And you talk so much about how God loves you and he chooses you. And you are a child of God, beloved, chosen, never forsaken. So I just want to encourage you that as you continue to pursue your call, continue to walk out in leadership, that is such an incredible quality that you have. And I pray that you continue to walk in that, continue to grow in it, because I think it's going to serve you so well in ministry moving forward.
And Tevin, kind of as we wrap up, if you could just say one thing to the people who are listening and watching, to say, a little bit about how you hope or what you hope that they're really getting out of this and like listening to your story and listening to your impact, what is like the one thing that you hope they take away from this?
I would say just like how great of a gift it is that we can serve. It's not like something that we do to bring ourselves like pride and stuff and
Mm.
like, oh, I'm so great for doing this and that. But again, that we get to do that, that we get to do this. And it's just so great that we can all be a part of it, the kingdom of God, and that we can connect with each other. And I think that's such a big part. I mean, we're a community, and I think that needs to be like stated more. Like, we need to be together. Like, honestly, if humans weren't supposed to be together, I think Adam would have been left alone in the garden.
It's good. Yeah,
Preacher right here.
that's right. I know.
mean,
This is
really.
a future pastor, man. He's a pastor now.
Look at
Preacher
him, yeah,
now.
look at him go. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of the Impact Students Podcast. I hope that you got as much out of it as Abby and I did. Love listening to you, Tevin. And more importantly, I hope that you join us next week for another episode. We can't wait to see you then.
Bye.
Bye bye.